All right, D. McClung, Archer Monologues. This is a quickie. Oh, yeah. I don't do quickies. Okay, well, in this case, hopefully I'll do a quickie. Just watching the Jimmy Dore show on YouTube. And he's talking to a guy who thinks that the police department should belong to the people instead of the government. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, we tell the police department how we want to be policed because they're employees of us, not the government. So I think what he's suggesting here is that we have a civilian police force. That is to say, we hire the cops and we tell the cops how to police in the area that they have jurisdiction. For example, the local cops in, say, Marion County, West Virginia, or Fairmont, West Virginia, or in that area. Or in my area where I live, like Worthington area. So we hire a policeman, and we say to the policeman, as citizens, we say to the policeman, you're not going to break the law. You're not going to commit any crimes. And you're not going to murder anybody on our streets, because that would make you a fucking criminal. And we, as the owners of the police department and the directors and the people, the boss of you, so to speak, we're telling you, as a police officer that works for us, the people, you're not going to arrest us, based on some fabricated, arbitrary, nonsensical law made up by a bunch of morons in Congress or state legislatures, etc. So you will do what we say. And if we tell you, don't be arresting kids for, smoking pot, then you don't, because we're the boss of you and you do what you're told, or you get fired. And you don't, shoot people in our town. As a cop, you don't drive around in your squad car, which we provide for you, and you don't just drive around our town shooting people dead, because, we won't tolerate that. That makes you a murderer. And it would make you a criminal, and it would make you a prisoner in prison. Prisons that we own, by the way. So the guy is promoting this idea of civilian police forces that work for us because we hire them and we direct them on how they're going to police us. And by the way, this thing about governing people, it is a principle in America that, you don't tell us what to do. The government doesn't tell us what to do, and the government doesn't hire, psychopaths and police state thugs to brutalize and terrorize us. So in a community such as Worthington, for example, there's a policeman. We hired him, and here's what you do, Mr. Police Officer. On your first day out as a police officer in our community, you're friendly, you're non-aggressive, you're polite to your employers, which is all of the people in Worthington, and by the way, we pay you your salary, so we own you, motherfucker. So here's the deal: you don't arrest any of our kids for, say, having a joint in his pocket. In fact, you don't even know he's got a joint in his pocket because it's not your business. You certainly don't go breaking down our doors in the middle of the night and shooting the dog and raping my wife. Well, you wouldn't rape my wife, would you? So anyway, I'm saying. So here's Jimmy Dore making a comment, giving an example of something, and then I'm going to tell you what's wrong with what he said. All right? So listen to this.
So again, I just want everybody, there will be a link underneath, civilian-led PD. This is about the community telling the police department how they want to be policed. For instance, one of the things I think you brought up when you were on the show before talking about this was like, hey, when your kid is out after curfew, do you want us to arrest him or do you want us to take him home? Right? That would be like something that the community would tell the police. Hey, if there's a kid and he's out past curfew, don't bring him to jail. Bring him home. That could be the policy for your community. Am I wrong about this?
All right. So here's the thing. Now he's talking about Jimmy Dore is big on freedom, and like I'm sure he is in favor of the Constitution, telling the government what to do and what not to do, and so forth. Because that's what the Constitution's for. It has nothing to do with me and you, unless you're a government official. And so he says this. The show. This is like about 14 minutes into the show, and of a 23-minute show, and he's talking to this guy who wants to create civilian police forces instead of having the government police forces. By the way, don't use the term law enforcement. That's a Nazi term. It means basically Gestapo or Taliban. So anyway, what he said, and you heard what he said, and if you forgot already, because I've been babbling on afterward, then just go back and replay it. But all of this is good, good. And the man's saying stuff that's right, fine. And then he says something like totally, absolutely fucking stupid. It's me like, but Jimmy, what the fuck are you saying? Do you even know what you're saying? Do you even understand what's wrong with what you just said? I'm going to play it again.
Everybody, there'll be a link underneath, civilian-led PD. This is about the community telling the police department how they want to be policed. For instance, one of the things I think you brought up when you were on the show before talking about this was like, hey, when your kid is out after curfew, do you want us to arrest him or do you want us to take him home? Right? That would be like something that the community would tell the police. Hey, if there's a kid and he's out past curfew, don't bring him to jail. Bring him home. That could be the policy for your community. Am I wrong about this?
No. You understand? Did you hear that? I played it twice, so it was a very brief thing, like about a minute long or less. And here's Jimmy Dore, who's saying freedom and the police shouldn't be like just working for government thugs. And, they should be working for us. Then we should tell them, don't arrest the kid for being having a joint or being out past curfew. Okay, let me tell you what's wrong with the curfew example. Number one, in a free country, you don't have curfews. Now, I recognize the possibility that there might be a situation where the people of the community might suggest that people should stay home and not be out on the streets for whatever reason, for a certain reason, particular reason. Like, there's a lion roaming the streets of Worthington, and you'll be safer if you stay home. So just stay home in your house until we can capture the lion and make the streets safe again for you. The lion is, you follow me? So the example that Jimmy gives, is curfew. And he says this like as if it's perfectly okay, a perfectly normal thing to say in a free society. Like it's perfectly normal, it's perfectly okay to have a fucking curfew in a free country. And this is what gets me about people. They say things and it's like totally innocent. They have no clue what they're saying. They have no idea how absurd and ridiculous it is and how contradictory to the very principles that they're espousing. Jimmy Dore wants freedom. He wants the world country, at least the country. He wants freedom to be top priority. He wants everybody to be free and do what you want as long as you don't hurt anybody else. I mean, he said this many times on his show. The rule. As long as you don't bother anybody else, or hurt anybody else, or damage anybody else's property, bingo. Do whatever you want. That's Jimmy Dore's policy. That's the way he thinks. And that's great. That's wonderful. And then he gives an example in the course of trying to elaborate on this concept of the police force working for us instead of the government, in this concept of we should be free and not be afraid of the cops, like murdering us in our beds and shooting our dog and arresting our kids for being out after midnight or whatever. And then he says something really fucking stupid and anti-freedom. Totally anti-freedom. It's sort of like, dress codes. Like, I believe in freedom and everybody's got human rights, including teenagers and school students in public schools. And yet, let's just say, but there's a dress code. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I believe in freedom. I believe everybody has human rights. We're all created equally, so to speak. We're all born with inalienable human rights. All of us. Every single human being. Including children. And teenagers. Adolescents. Oh, by the way, children and teenagers, adolescents and children, 2 different stages of human development. Adolescent is not a child. Let me say that one more time. An adolescent is not a child. Biologically, and under the principles of freedom, and under the principles of right and wrong, and under any sane policy, you just, I hear this all the time. Oh, he's a child molester. No, he's not. So quit saying that, because that's just a lie, and it's stupid, ridiculous. So anyway, Jimmy Dore is saying, as an example of total freedom and, like a real American freedom place, and where everybody's like treated like they actually have human rights, and we need to have police officers that respect that right to do as he please, as long as they're not violating somebody else's property or violating some other person's being, like killing them or robbing them or committing fraud or coercion or raping them. I mean, rape is a crime. It's categorized under battery, not assault, and that's another case of where the words have been jumbled up to mean total nothing, babble. Oh, that's sexual assault. So what is sexual assault? Well, technically, the word sexual assault, the phrase, means somebody standing in front of you, with his dick out, saying, I'm going to fuck you, whether you like it or not. And here I am, and you're there in a corner, and there's no escape, and I'm gonna rape you. That's assault. The words and the posture of the person who is about to rape you. That's what the word assault means in the law. But they changed the law, and they changed the meaning of the word assault to mean something it doesn't mean. Like, it doesn't mean I'm threatening to beat you upside the head with a baseball bat while I stand in front of you with a baseball bat. It means I actually beat you up the side of the head with a baseball bat, even though I didn't actually beat you in the head with a baseball bat. In fact, I don't even have a baseball bat. And I didn't rape you, so it's not assault. I didn't say I was going to rape you, I didn't say, I'm going to rape you now, and my dick's out, and I got a heart on, and and you're laying, and you're there on your knees, naked with your hands behind your back, tied behind your back, and I'm gonna shove my dick down your throat now. Rape your mouth. That would be assault. But until I actually stick my dick in you, like your mouth or your pussy or asshole, that's not battery. You understand? Now, people argue with me all the time, and I really think it's insane, because I just said something that's true. It's not debatable. There's no argument there. I got to argue with you because, I'm an idiot. Yeah, and then they call me an idiot because I told them the truth. They're like, it's just absurd. So what I'm saying here is that Jimmy Dore, I love him. He's a cool guy, and he's kind of funny, in a serious kind of way. And it's just boggles my mind. I mean, here's the bottom line of the thing. They say something right, they say something right, they say something right, they say something right, and then, boom, say something totally wrong. Or the complete opposite of what they've been saying right along the way, And I can think of some other people that do this. And they're like liars and hypocrites and bullies, thugs, and assholes. Pricks, motherfuckers, that sort of thing. For example, Rand Paul. I'm not talking about his dad now. I'm talking about Rand Paul, who certainly must have been adopted or dropped on his head or something at some point in his life because he's like a blooming fucking idiot, Nazi bastard bully, and a hypocrite because he says, for small government, I'm a libertarian, small government. Government out of our business, The government should obey the Constitution. And then, I want the government to force every human being on this country to live the way I, Rand Paul, say they should live. You hear me? So he says, I want abortion made illegal, and I want every human being in America to obey the law that says, you can't have an abortion, otherwise we'll put you in fucking jail or something. He's against big government. He's like a libertarian, meaning, very little government, if any. Very little government, if any. And then he says, I want the government to make it illegal for you to have an abortion or to perform an abortion. Now, if that's not a fucking hypocrite, I've never heard one. If that's not a fucking thug, bully motherfucker, I've never seen one. And the fact that his father's Rand Paul, he should have a clue. He should realize that what he's saying is absolutely contradictory to other things he said up to that point. I believe in freedom. I believe everybody in America should be free to do as they please, not be worry about the government interfering with their lives. Unless they want to have an abortion, in which case, you're going to jail, motherfucker. Can't have one because I said so. I'm Rand Paul, and I'm like God. I'm like the fucking dictator of the world. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with idiots like that? Bullies. I mean, absolute fucking hypocritical bullies. Rand Paul is a bully. There's no question there. He sends me emails like every other day. Sign my petition to overturn Roe versus Wade thingy. They've murdered 60 million babies, and all that nonsense. You're a fucking Christian, for Christ's sake. Retard. Delusional, fucking mentally retarded idiot. Fool. Buffoon. Oh, by the way, Kentucky? He's a senator from Kentucky? Excuse me? Can we all say carpet fucking bagger? Won't get into that. So anyway, you heard Jimmy Dore. You heard what he said. You didn't hear the previous part of the program because it's, as I told you, and you can listen to it, it's on YouTube. No big deal. And it's like, yeah, police shouldn't arrest people for, just minding their own business. We should control the police department. We should say to the policemen, you work for us, you'll do as we say. You'll police us the way we tell you. And you won't be arresting my kid for being out after midnight. Whoops. And you won't bother him at all, actually. You won't even talk to him. You won't even bother him in any way. You'll leave him the fuck alone. Now, if you see my son or a boy or a person, breaking into, a house or a business place, Like he's got a hammer and he just broke the window and he's kicking in the door or whatever, and he's going in, climbing in through the broken glass in the window, and you think, oh, I think that guy is a thief. He's breaking and entering. He's committing a crime. I mean, he's destroying property for one thing, so I think there's a clue. There's probable cause for me to approach this young fella and say, excuse me, would you mind putting up your hands and just standing there, and certainly don't try to pull out a gun and shoot me, because that would be a very serious mistake on your part. And I really don't want to have to shoot you tonight, so just put your hands up, stand still, and explain to me why you broke that window and why you're climbing into that building through the window at 2 a.m. in the morning. And if you give you a reasonable explanation, and that reasonable explanation includes actual evidence to support it, like, for example, he said, I locked myself out, this building belongs to me, I live in this building, and I can't get in, and I would like to go in my house and, fix myself something to eat and, go to sleep in my bed. And here's my proof, because here's a document that has my name and address, and it's the address of this building. So it's obviously my building, and I'm allowed to break the window of my own building to get into my building, because I have reasons to. Like, I live here, but I forgot my keys, left them in the house, or lost them on the way home at 2 o'clock in the morning. And the police officer says, makes sense. Is there anybody else in the building? Is there anybody else living there besides you? Oh, no, I live alone. Anyway. All right then. Well, you didn't really have to break the window to get in. You could have actually, I was just down here in the corner sitting in my car, and you could have probably just come down to me and said, hey, I locked myself out, and I got to get my house, and there's something you can, there's no sense in calling a locksmith at this time of night. I can just, crack the window pane in the window and raise the window and go through the window and unlock the door, and I'm cool. And I'll have to fix the window, because my window, I'll have to pay for a window, but no problem, because, I made the choice to do that so I could get in my house. You don't shoot the fucker just because you saw him climbing through a window at 2 o'clock in the morning. There may be a reasonable explanation. It's up to you as a cop to find out what that is first. Now, obviously, if you approach the guy who's climbing through a window and you say, excuse me, young fellow, what are you doing? And why are you climbing through a window? Why did you break the window to go into the window? Why are you doing that? And he pulls out a gun and starts shooting at you. And then, self-defense applies. That's just a given. You don't even have to think about that. Hopefully the cop does not kill the person. He just, wounds him enough, that prevent him from shooting you, the cop. So you don't murder people, is what I'm saying. Cops don't murder people. They're not allowed. It's a crime. A lot of that going on in America today. A lot of cops murdering people in America. A lot. A lot? I don't know. One is too many if it's me. Duh. So, here's the deal. This is the point of this show. Is they say something right, 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 and then they say something wrong. And they don't even realize what they're saying is wrong. They don't even realize how contradictory what they just said, like Jimmy did, about the curfew thing. Why is there a curfew? And what civilized free country would even think about having a curfew? Now, I know you think, it's not a good idea for kids to be running around after 11 o'clock at night or whatever. That's not your decision to make. Because I may be a kid and I may be out late for whatever reason, which I have every right to be out after midnight if I want to be. mean, that's what a free country is. That's what it means to be free. Is I can go wherever I want, whenever I want, in the middle of the night. I can go for a walk down the street in Worthington, at 2 a.m. because, duh, free country, and I have a right to do that. I don't have the right to break into someone's house and steal their television. That's a given. But if I'm just walking down the street, minding my own business, and hey, leave me the fuck alone, cop. Leave me the fuck alone. And you do, because you're a decent human being. Doesn't mean you can't keep an eye on me. Yeah, if you're sitting in your car along the side street there somewhere, if you see me walking down the street, you say, wonder what you're doing at 2 o'clock in the morning walking down the street. Oh, by the way, you look like you might be about 15 years old. Teenager. Might be a problem here. I'll keep an eye out. But my first assumption is just a citizen walking down the street at 2 o'clock in the morning. Not committing any crime. So it's time that we recognize the fact that we say things inadvertently or in total naive, stupid, gullible stupidity is what it is. It's just stupid because Jimmy Dore should have known better than to use that example, because he should have realized that curfews are not legal in America. The government hasn't got a right to tell me that I shouldn't be out walking around after midnight because it's a free country, moron. So Jimmy Dore said something right, he said something right, he said something right. He said something stupid, which totally contradicts everything he said, which totally negates and brings his credibility to zero, because obviously he doesn't understand the concept of freedom, even though that's his premise and the whole idea. We want to be free and we want to be safe from cops killing us. And the same thing goes for dress codes. People talk about dress codes. Oh, I believe in freedom. I believe in freedom. I believe in freedom. I believe in freedom. And then, I got to obey the dress code law. Yeah, come on. If the school has a dress code, you can bet you believe it has the force of law. Because you try to violate the dress code and see what happens. They will arrest you or certainly treat you as if you are a criminal or a slave, and they will punish you. Happens every day in America. Some kid likes to wear, I think I'll wear my favorite t-shirt to school today, and it just happens to have, the NRA and a pistol picture on the front of it. And you can't wear that in this school. Why not? It's against the law, dress codes and stuff. I'm sorry, Mr. Principal, but you're a fucking fascist pig motherfucker, and I'll wear whatever I damn well please because it's a fucking free country. So, Mr. Principal, fuck off. And if I was a parent and I had children and adolescents in school, let's say high school, adolescent, and he said, I'm going to wear this shirt to school, Dad. What do you think? Hey, free country, dude. You want to wear it? Wear it. Besides, I gave you the shirt, and so obviously I gave it to you to wear. So, go ahead. So he goes to school, and the principal holds him aside, or the teacher pulls him aside and says, yeah, you can't wear that shirt in this school. You got to change it. Take off that shirt. Dress code, dress code, dress code. And my son I would expect my son to have enough balls to say, a free country, fuck you. Well, maybe not fuck you, but it'd be all right with me if he said fuck you to the principal for telling him to take off a shirt that he owns and it's his business to wear and has every right to wear. And I said it was okay myself, so hey, Mr. Principal, fuck off. Mind your own business. And my wardrobe is none of your business. You understand what I'm saying, people? Dress codes. It's against the law in America. In a free society, anywhere. to have an enforced dress code. It's just ridiculous. It's not freedom. It's totally the opposite of freedom. It's like, you'll do what we say, and we say, take off that shirt. Now, if it was a girl and she had the nice boobs, and you told her, principal's office, and you can't wear that blouse here in the top because it's like you're showing shoulder and you're showing, little teeny tiny bit of the top of your boob there. So take off your shirt. What parent would not be outraged that a principal fella, guy, prick, motherfucker, Nazi bastard, told my daughter, my 14-year-old daughter, take off your shirt right here in my office because I want to see your titties. Pervert. Talk about perverts. I won't even get into the strip search bullshit, Nazi fascist bastards. I won't even get into that because, okay, so let's say my son got the shirt, he goes to school, and then, you can't wear that shirt, take it off, you can't come here, got to go home and change your shirt or whatever. No, you can't go home, you got to stay here because it's a prison camp and we won't let you go until it's time to go home on the bus or whatever. And so, okay, well, I would hope my son would say, excuse me, I got to call my dad. And then he would call me, regardless of what the principal was. I can't call anybody or anything. Put that cell phone away. I'm going to call my dad, asshole, and you better watch it and not try to stop me, because I'll hurt you, Nazi prick. And he calls me up on Dad, the dress code thingy, and he said, I can't wear this shirt, blah, blah, blah. I would say, hang in there, son. And by the way, defend yourself if anybody tries to cause you any harm, physical harm. Defend yourself. You have a right to do that. So if the principal lays his hands on you, kill the motherfucker. No. Let's not do. Let's not be drastic. Let's not be drastic. Let's not be hysterical. Just hang in there, son, and just be cool, and just be cool, and tell the principal for me that I'm on my way. I'll be down there in about 5-10 minutes, 20 minutes tops, and we'll straighten this all out. We'll get it straightened out, okay? Just tell the principal. In fact, put him on the phone. Mr. Principal, I'll be down in a couple of minutes, 5-10 minutes, and we'll straighten this out. So in the meantime, don't touch my son. Don't bother my son. Don't tell my son. He'll just let him sit there somewhere in the room, and you just kind of go about your business or whatever, and don't leave the building because I'm going to be down there. And I'll be down there. Okay? I'll see you in about 10 minutes. And I hang up the phone, and I go down to the school, and I go to the principal's office, and I say, hi, son, what's happening? And he said, principal, give me being a Nazi here. And I said, well, let's fix this. And Mr. Principal, sir, here's the deal. Fuck off. Don't be telling my son what he can wear because you're a Nazi prig bastard, and you can't do that. Not in a free country. And if you try it again, I'm going to kick your fucking ass. You prick. Case closed. End of story. And that's how you deal with these Nazi bastards. That's how you deal with these police state motherfuckers. You tell them, don't fuck with me. Because I'm free, and you're not going to do anything to violate the right of my son to wear whatever the fuck he wants, whenever he wants, wherever he wants. Case closed. Because it's perfectly legal to defend myself, and it is perfectly legal for my son to defend himself, and his rights as a human being to wear whatever he wants without you bullying him and being a terrorist. Motherfucker. Oh, and while I'm here, and while we're on the subject, don't ever enforce this dress code Nazi bullshit on any other human being in this school who has every right to wear whatever the fuck he or she wants. Period. Case closed. End of story. Because if you do this to any other student, If you say anything like that, if you ever intimidate or harass or terrorize or pick on any student exercising their natural, inalienable human right to wear whatever the fuck they want, I'll be back. And I will bring friends. I mean, like other students and the other students. I will ask my son to talk to your student friends there, get them to, come together, and I will talk to some parents, and the parents and the students will go back to the principal's office and say, guess what, motherfucker, you broke the law again. You violated the law. The law says you can't tell people what to wear. Period. Case closed. End of story. You're guilty. You're out of here. And take the guy out, give him some tar and feathers, and run him out of town on a rail. End of story. You understand? Period. Not debatable. We're not discussing this. Freedom is not negotiable. You're either free or you're not. You're either a respecter of freedom and human rights, or you're a fascist pig Nazi motherfucker. And you don't deserve to be in a principal's office. You don't deserve to hold a position of power over anyone. You don't deserve to breathe free air in a free society if you're a Nazi pig bastard. End of story. As for Jimmy Dore, I would write to him, and assuming I can get some way to do that, I think I can. I will send him a note and explain to him where he fucked up with the example of, the curfew business. Because those are not allowed in a free society. You can't tell people that they can't, walk down the street and mind their own damn business. You just can't. It's like Nazi Germany, you're a Jew and you're out on the public street and you don't have your star on your freaking forehead. Bam, you're dead. See what I'm saying? That's Nazism. That's not freedom. So I would tell Jimmy Dore, as politely as I can, that you made a mistake there, dude. You shouldn't have been promoting curfews, because free societies don't do that. People that believe in freedom don't support curfews or dress codes or pig police state motherfuckers murdering innocent people on the streets. You just don't tolerate that. Free society. You don't allow cops to murder people and get away with it. You just don't. Like that woman that got shot the other day. Cold-blooded murder. Bam, 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 dead. Murder. Murder, murder, murder. Homicide. Guilty. He's a cop. Cop murders a civilian. Death penalty. Not even negotiable. We saw you do it. You did it. You're guilty. Witnesses testified. You did it. We got video. You did it. She was unarmed. You shot her fucking face. You're guilty. Going to prison for the rest of your life. End of story. If a cop murders an innocent civilian, death penalty, as far as I'm concerned. No, I don't really believe in the death penalty. I'm saying that, metaphorically speaking, I suppose. You should be in prison or a mental institution for the rest of your life. I mean, case closed. End of story. Turns out it wasn't a brief show after all. I'm up to 40 minutes almost. Anyway, Jimmy Dore, please. I got to tell him. I will. I'll try to find a way to communicate to him and explain to him his example was totally off base. Totally contradictory to the principle of his whole show. All right. Now, you just heard all this 40 minutes ago. You heard me talk about dress codes and curfews and illogical, irrational, contradictory, hypocritical, bullshit, nonsense, absurdities by people, right, wrong. Right, wrong. And you know what? A lot of these people, they're good people, and they're just naive, I guess. They just don't think. They're so indoctrinated and conditioned with these absurd rules and laws and so forth. It's just perfectly normal. Perfectly normal. I'll just say that as an example because that's okay when it just totally contradicts the whole premise that they were talking about. So in the case of the boy, the curfew, and if you're a cop in my local town and you see my kid or me or anyone, walking down the street after 11 o'clock at night or midnight or whatever, just mind your own business. I mean, just stay there, keep an eye on him, make sure he doesn't get kidnapped off the street. And I go, hey, might be my daughter, might be my 14-year-old beautiful daughter. The girl with a nice body that every boy in frickin' town wants. Because they're like dogs, Oh, yummy, I got it. And, make sure my 14-year-old daughter gets down the street and up the street and across the street and into my house safely. Don't follow her like a creep. I'm just saying keep an eye out. Because, there's some guys driving down the street in a van and they're wearing hoods over their faces. We don't know what they're doing. That's suspicious. Keep an eye on them. And they pull up their van next to my daughter. She's walking down the sidewalk. I'm like, wait a minute. This isn't right. Got to be something. I got to get in front of this. Yeah. Turns out they were going to drag my daughter into the van and take her off somewhere and rape the fuck out of her. Oh, excuse me, copper. What were you doing when that happened? But lo and behold, I should be like walking down the street, coming home from, my girlfriend's house. I'm using it as a hypothetical. I'm not. So I'm walking home at midnight, walking home from my girlfriend's house. It's down the road about a mile or half a mile or whatever. I'm walking home and you see me and you drive up to me and say, you're out after dark. You must be doing something criminal. Bam, 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 bam. Shoots me in the face 10 times. Oh, by the way, if I'm walking down the street at night by myself in the dark, you can probably bet that I'm going to be carrying a gun. Because there are crazy people out there who might try to hurt me. So if a van pulls up to me on the side of the road while I'm walking home and tries to drag me into the van, they better be really, really quick, because as soon as the van comes anywhere within like 50 feet of me, I'm going to have my hand on the handle of my pistol. Just in case. And if they pull up beside me and this little door slides open and a couple of guys with ski masks jump out, bam, 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 dead cops. No, no. Didn't say that. Dead kidnappers. Well, mortally wounded, perhaps. Because I'm going to shoot. I'm not going to think about, whether I'm hitting them in the knee or in the arm or in the face. Because they're trying to kidnap me. They're going to hurt me. Excuse me. Oh, but those were undercover cops, and they weren't actually kidnapping you. They were arresting you for being out after midnight or some fucking shit. Same deal. Don't try to kidnap me in the middle of the night. You could get hurt. And don't yell cop, because I won't believe you. Just leave me the fuck alone. I'm not bothering anyone. Alright. End of this show. Catch you next time. D. McClung, Art to Monologues.